Welcome. We are continuing with the hormones. Our new topic is second messenger system. You see, hormone is actually a messenger. Hormones are the first messengers. The hormone is combining with a receptor molecule, and of course, you know that the position of the receptor is different with respect to different hormones. Sometimes it may be in the plasma membrane. Sometimes it may be in the cytoplasm, sometimes it may be in the nucleus, whatever it is. Once the hormone is binding with a receptor on the plasma membrane, it will cause a chemical reaction or a chemical change on the cytoplasmic side. Thereafter, the message is to be amplified, the signal is to be amplified, and it should be transported in different directions. For that, a series of messengers called second messenger is involved. In this diagram you can see the first messenger hormone is binding with a receptor. It is actually a G protein coupled receptor. It is actually activated by binding of GTP. The GTP is binding with the G protein when the hormone is binding with the receptor. It is activating an enzyme called adenylyl cyclase. This adenylyl cyclase is actually a membrane bound enzyme. It is protruded into the cytoplasm. Activation of this adenylyl cyclase by the GTP causes conversion of ATP into cAMP. cAMP means cyclic AMP. Cyclic AMP is an example for a second messenger. The cyclic AMP in turn will activate an enzyme called protein kinase A. This in turn will have a series of chemical reactions. It will lead to a series of chemical reactions. So a message being provided by a first messenger, the hormones, is being taken over by a series of second messengers inside the cytoplasm or inside the cell. See, CAMP, cyclic AMP, is formed by the activity of adenylyl cyclase. Just make a note of it. It will be there for the examination. And the second messengers are formed inside the cell. Let us see in more detail. Here, some hormones that use adenylyl cyclase, which is producing cyclic AMP as a second messenger system. All these are the hormones. ACTH and angiotensin, calcitonin, catecholamines. All these hormones are using cyclic AMP second messenger system. The same diagram once again, you have seen it earlier. This is actually a transmembrane protein receptor. Hormone is binding with the receptor on the extracellular fluid side. It is causing GTP binding proteins activating on the inside of the cell. This protein is the adenylyl cyclase. It is causing conversion of ATP into cyclic AMP. Now, this cyclic AMP is activating cyclic AMP dependent protein kinase into active cyclic AMP dependent protein kinase. So, this is inactive, this is active. This CAMP dependent protein kinase is activated by cyclic AMP. Cyclic AMP is formed from ATP by the action of adenylyl cyclase. Okay. Now, this protein kinase will have a lot of, it will lead to a lot of chemical reactions. You see, proteins are reacting with ATP, producing a series of products. This is actually the cellular response. So, cyclic AMP is a very important second messenger. Don't think that cyclic AMP is the only second messenger. There are some other second messengers also. For example, you can see here, this is a second messenger system. What happens? A hormone is binding with the receptor. This is activating G protein. You know that G protein is actually GTP binding protein. It is present on the membrane. This is activating an enzyme called phospholipase C. This phospholipase C also is a membrane bound protein. This phospholipase C is activating PIP2. What is PIP2? Look here, phosphatidyl inositol biphosphate. Phosphatidyl inositol biphosphate is broken down or hydrolyzed into DAG, diacyl glycerol. This is DAG. DAG is diacyl glycerol, and IP3. IP3 is inositol triphosphate. So, phosphatidyl inositol biphosphate is hydrolyzed into diacyl glycerol and inositol triphosphate because of the binding of the peptide hormone to the receptor. Now what happens, this DAG is acting as a second messenger, and IP3 also will act as a second messenger. These are leading to a series of chemical reactions. Both are diffusing into the cytoplasm, and DAG is activating protein kinase C into active protein kinase C. IP3 is actually causing the exit of calcium ions from the endoplasmic reticulum into the cytoplasm. This will cause a series of reactions. It will also lead to synthesis of protein. See, so many reactions are there in the cytoplasm because of this second messenger system, DAG IP3 second messenger system. And there is another one, calcium calmodulin second messenger system. You see, because of the entry of calcium into the cells. Earlier we found that calcium ions may enter the cells because of a change in the membrane potential that open calcium channel, or when a hormone is binding with a membrane receptor, that also may open calcium channel, leading to the accumulation of calcium ions. These calcium ions bind with a protein called calmodulin, and this calmodulin protein has 4 sites for the binding of calcium, and once they are binding with the calcium, the shape of the calmodulin, the conformation of the calmodulin changes, and it initiates multiple chemical reactions inside the cell. Let us see. This is the slide. This is a slide. What happens here? Lumen of endoplasmic reticulum. Here calcium was there, calcium is stored there. This calcium is released into the cytoplasm. This is the cytoplasm, this is the extracellular fluid, this is the endoplasmic reticulum. Earlier calcium ion was stored here, and this stored calcium is released when a messenger is binding with the receptor. What is this messenger? It is IP3, inositol triphosphate. Earlier we found it. And you know that this IP3 in turn is formed as a second messenger from the PIP2. You see here PIP2 is phosphatidyl inositol biphosphate is hydrolyzed into IP3 and diacyl glycerol. We found this reaction just in the previous slide. So one of the effect of this IP3 inositol triphosphate is to bind with the receptor, bind with the calcium channel on the endoplasmic reticulum. Because of this binding, this channel is opened and the calcium ion is released into the cytoplasm. This calcium ion is acting as a second messenger. It will bind with the calmodulin and it will activate protein kinase. The protein kinase will activate when it will carry out phosphorylation reactions of proteins. It will lead to a series of chemical reactions. Okay, and it will lead to the cell contraction, secretion, etc. So you see, just one messenger that is binding with the receptor caused a lot of chemical reactions inside the cell. A typical way in which a hormone is acting. And remember, one molecular hormone can lead to a series of such chemical reactions. Actually, at each stage of this reaction, there is a type of amplification. We say this is a cascade of chemical reaction. There is a type of amplification in the magnitude of the effect. Well, that much about hormone receptors and their mechanism of action. Now we are moving on to the different hormones of anterior pituitary. Actually, these slides are taken from textbook of Human Physiology written by Guyton and Hall. Already I have given you these textbooks, so you can refer that book for these notes. Actually, for this chapter, you should make use of that textbook in detail. Textbook of Human Physiology by Guyton and Hall. Okay, and this is the hormone of posterior pituitary. But make a note of it. Posterior pituitary is not synthesizing any hormone. It is just storing two hormones of hypothalamus. It is storing and then it is secreting. One is antidiuretic hormone, also called vasopressin. The other one is oxytocin. These are produced from hypothalamus but temporarily stored in the posterior pituitary and then secreted into the circulation. You can see here is the hypothalamus. Here is the hypothalamus stalk that is connecting the pituitary. This is the posterior pituitary and this is the anterior pituitary. And cells and hormones of the anterior pituitary gland and their physiological effect. You should go through this slide in detail. It is there in that textbook also. It's better you make use of that textbook than these slides. So in the next slides, we will move on to the study of the individual hormones as is given in the syllabus.